Happy hump day to everyone. And you know what? As I say hump day, this is how long this week has been. It just went into my mind and I went, is it really Wednesday? Yeah, okay. It is Wednesday.
Yeah,
Yes.
feel
Yes,
that.
it is Wednesday. And the reason that you see, well, there's two reasons.
Mm,
The reason you see me here in this host spot with Tiger today, one, everybody else on our roster is at some kind of media day
mm.
or on their way to some kind of media day. So, everyone else a little bit busy. Brittany and Chelsea went yesterday, and no need to have them go back to back when they just killed yesterday's episode. Um, and the second reason, there's a football game happening in Norman, Oklahoma this weekend, and I wanted to come on and make sure
Mm,
that
mm.
I bring the Ole Miss
You're repping it. You're
colors.
repping it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I love it.
But no, let's
I
get
love it.
on to basketball talk because I'm gonna have a little bit more fun with Tyler in a minute. But basketball last night, you had a big night.
I sure
Oklahoma
did.
City.
That's who I'm repping today. That's we're repping the chance today. Avoided a robbery, but yes, it was a heck of a night. It was wonderful.
I mean, you made it on the big screen. I
Yeah,
mean, just
made my dad get on there. He's not as on camera as I am, so it was funny to get him on the screen. But yeah, I mean, my basketball off season for women's basketball consists of going to other basketball, naturally, but it was a blast. Saw the banner go up. Who knows if we'll ever. I mean, that could be a once in a lifetime thing, for all I know. And it ended up in a double overtime hate off, and it was awesome. And like, it was a successful hate watch, a successful cheering of my Thunder. So overall, a long night, a longer night than expected. I was hoping to get back and see some more of the NBC coverage and get a feel for it, but didn't get to watch much because we was traveling back and forth or at the game. By the time we got out of the game, it was like 5 minutes of the second quarter of the Lakers Warriors game. But yeah, overall, heck of a night.
and we don't have to spend too much time on this, but I do want to bring this up because I saw you tweeted this out at some point yesterday,
Mhm.
and it kind of falls in line with Oklahoma City, the ring night and everything. Is there a more sad sport? Sad is the only word I could come up with.
Mhm.
Sports town than Seattle, Washington, right now.
Absolutely not. No, you got the Mariners getting eliminated. I'm not even a baseball guy, but I kept up with that because I knew what the 24 hours were looking like. Because I knew the ring night was coming to Oklahoma City, and
Hmm.
now Dominic Malonga, that one caught me off guard. I wasn't mentally preparing
Yeah.
for that. So that's just a whole another thing. Yeah, no, Seattle sports fans it's rough right now. And yeah, I mean, like the Seahawks are solid. Like they got they exist. So I mean, yeah, no. Overall though, I don't know what's going on with Dominic Malonga. That whole situation is crazy. But yeah, no, it's a rough time to be a Seattle sports fan. It's been a rough week.
Oh man. Oh well. All right. Let's go ahead and get started here. And like I said, I'm here to have a little fun with Tyler.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're gonna play a little game today on this Wednesday. And I've kind of coined it, hypothetically speaking.
I
Yeah.
like that.
So hypothetically speaking, what if your Oklahoma Sooners women's basketball coach, Jennie Baranczyk,
Hmm.
did not exist? She was
Mm,
gone from existence. She's no longer, uh, not even a thought.
sure.
And every other coach in women's college basketball was available,
Yeah.
and they let Tyler DeLuca be in charge of the hiring.
Mm.
Who you going with? Give me some of your candidates.
Well, this first one is gonna be a shocker, but I think I would take Dawn Staley. I know, hot take. She's done pretty well for herself. And assuming we're keeping like all the lore and everything of like where these coaches stand now, I mean, people are gonna follow Don Staley and are gonna come and join Don Staley. I mean, like it's Don Staley, and you can kind of go like to you know not gonna put like I won't list them all on here, but obviously you have I think Don, Gino, and Kim Mulkey are certainly the big three of like coaches that have dominated and have won championships and have continued to have success. So, like all three of those are kind of like in one tier for me in terms of like what that could look like.
Hmm.
And obviously again, just established coaches. But for the majority of my list, I try to kind of go to coaches that maybe haven't fully proven, and like you can build long term with the program and in that mindset. And don't worry, Coach Yo's gone too, so we're gonna have a couple picks from you, BMac. I mean, if you're on the stage today, we're putting you on the spot, BMac. I'm happy to have you here.
Well, the ring light is getting hot. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, my window is shining at me now. I forgot to close it. It's the lights are bright. The lights are bright. But the next pick that my mind immediately went to was Kim Caldwell from Tennessee. I mean, she's obviously Tennessee is like a sleeping giant in a lot of ways. I mean, has had so much success in the past with Pat Summit. Obviously, I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, I don't think I probably need to tell you much about how good the Lady Vols have been just over the course of the history of women's basketball. But it hasn't had that level of success recently. But Kim Caldwell certainly has them going in the right direction. And so, like, I think it's a mix of the Tennessee brand and what that could bring and how it's not exactly a hard brand to sell by any means. I mean, it's Tennessee. And so to me, that's someone that I would love to have. But because I also think while the brand is strong, it's been sleeping giant. So like it's been sleeping for a reason. Like people haven't been able to kind of figure it out. And Kim Caldwell has that thing awakening. I mean, you saw the success last year in year one, and a year that really like wasn't like deemed ahead of time to be like, okay, like we're gonna see immediate results, right? And it's certainly a system with Kim Caldwell with the mass substitutions and things like that that is very unique and like I think can work really well or have drawbacks. Like I think there's a give and take with that, but ultimately I like her energy like a lot. Like I've gotten to speak with her and do an interview with her. I left that ready to commit to Tennessee. Like when I when I sat down to interview, so like that is someone that I think just out of like the kind of younger generation of coaches that are building programs right now that
Mm.
you can't go wrong with. Kind of in a semi similar vein, Shay Ralph. I mean, I think also is I mean, this Vanderbilt program is continuing. Obviously, getting Michaela Blake's is a massive one. I lose Camille Pierre, but like this is a program that is on the up and up. That has been you're seeing in recruits, even if they're not getting the recruits every single time, the top fives and the top like things like that. Like you're just seeing Vanderbilt's name, which is not something that had been happening really before Shay Ralph has kind of gotten this program going. So kind of in a similar way to that, like it's a program that is on the up, like in a way that, and not like Tennessee that it has like a super deep lore of that success in that way. So like it to me, this truly has been I don't know if labor of love is the exact way, but like it's been Shay Ralph building this program and building it kind of in her image in that way to kind of get recruits to come in and believe and buy into what Vandy is as a school and as a women's basketball program. Continuing on, Kara Lawson, I mean, has certainly been able to. You have the Team USA ties when it comes to the younger players. You have the success with I mean the defense is all right there. I mean it's they say defense wins championships, and I don't know if any coach is preaching defense quite like Coach Lawson. It'd be different from what we got in Jennie Baranczyk. It'd be a very different system. Like I think some of the other coaches here, like Kim Caldwell, it'd be pretty one for one similar. Not Coach Lawson. We would be flipping this program on its head. So in that way, it would be different. I got two more though. Two more. Jan Jensen from Iowa.
Yes.
I love Big Jan. Like that's
Yes.
I love Big Jan. I'm a believer. Like she is someone that I mean we're seeing it with the Iowa recruiting that has been happening. Like they've gotten some big time recruits. I'm a Big Jan believer. I am like just kind of through and through. Like I am. And then from the mid major, I think this is the kind of mid major pick right now is from Fairfield. Probably Thibaut Dudonis. Like, I mean, that has been the name that I feel like anytime there's been an opening, they've been kind of poking around. Do they want to go? Like, is this a staff that would like to move up? In that way, and they haven't bit yet because they are building something genuine at Fairfield, and like, understandably so. And Fairfield has put that investment back in, and obviously, it's a mid-major program. It's not SEC. It's not that Power Five, and they don't care. And I kind of love that. Like, and so like, if I was able to be the one to go and grab that staff, I'd be very, very happy with like kind of the Power Five resources and things of that nature. But those are the coaches. I just call it kind of the ISO there. But those are the coaches that, for me, immediately came to my head whenever I got posed this question.
I like that. It's some strong candidates right
Mm,
there.
mhm. Who you got? Who you got? If Coach Yo, who would be your top ones?
Okay, first of all, mm, take my glasses off here and
Mhm,
let me
mhm,
speak. Let me
mhm,
speak to everyone listening here today.
mhm.
This is just a game. Coach Yo is not going anywhere.
Mm,
You cannot have Coach Yo
mm,
or straight NCAA tournaments, two Sweet 16s, the queen of the transfer portal.
mhm,
She is us and we are her.
mm.
That's all.
However, comma, BMac.
Since you asked.
You've got a prepared list with the prepared statement.
I like, and I kind of went with more of a mid-major,
Sure.
up and comer feel. Aaron Roussel at Richmond,
Mm, mhm,
and this is kind of cheating because I interviewed him last night for
yeah.
my podcast.
Fresh on the mind. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, back to back A10 Coach of the Years.
Mhm,
First NCAA tournament in program history. First NCAA tournament win in program history last year. Um, 70% winning percentage in 21 years of coaching,
mhm,
which includes stints at both Bucknell and Richmond, which are schools in mid-major category that one team bids to the
mm,
NCAA tournament. Um, so there's always that factor for me. Bart Brooks at Belmont
yeah.
from the Doug Bruno tree of coaching, multiple conference championships, winning percentage of 75%. Just another one bid league that,
Yeah.
you know. Tamika Williams Jeter at Dayton.
I like
Obviously,
that.
you have the UConn championship pedigree as a player, WNBA champion as a player. Has been an assistant at places like Kansas, Kentucky, Penn State, Ohio State. So she's understanding of the moment.
Mhm,
And her teams at Dayton have shown steady improvement year after year. This is another one that hasn't even coached her first game yet at Florida Gulf Coast, but Raina Harmon.
yeah.
She would
I'm
be
excited.
somebody that would be very good for me.
Mhm,
I mean, recruiting master at Iowa,
mhm,
known for player development. Uh, this is something you really don't necessarily, you don't necessarily have your kids like you as a coach,
mhm,
but they have to respect you. And
mhm,
I've seen a bunch of Iowa games in person, um, and I watched how those kids interacted with her.
mhm,
I mean, it just whether they were working on things or just off on the side, and you can tell that there's love and respect there. So
mhm.
I feel like she could bring that to Oxford.
Yeah.
Um, and the last one I'll go with is Kim Roseman, Tennessee Tech,
I like it.
former Ole Miss women's basketball player.
There you go.
So there's love there.
Yeah.
A program builder, and she has done that year after year at Tennessee Tech. Won her 500th career game this past season at
Mhm.
Tech. I mean, just a proven winner. So yeah, that would be my,
I
since you
like it.
asked
I
list.
I I like it. I like it. I just had one more come to mind. This is a curveball, BMac.
All right.
I just had one last one come to mind. And since you're talking about people, hey, I just interviewed. I got an agenda. I know I've been pushing. I'm not gonna act like I haven't. What about Latricia Trammell coming to Oklahoma? Someone that has been
Love it.
known in Dallas when she was there. When I thought she did a phenomenal job, and I've been on. That's something I've been saying. Thought
Yes.
she did a phenomenal job, related to the players in a way that I feel like could really kind of go over into recruiting. Like it felt like that way, but also from Oklahoma, coached in Oklahoma City at the college level, won rings at the college level. Like that, that would be someone I would love to see. Like honestly, in like I don't know if there's any you know, want from her to ever get into the college ranks. But I
Mhm.
think that she just seems like one of those coaches that like would pour into the college kids in that way. That I think would be really dope to have like in the college level. But also, I mean, you could do that in it's different, but in a similar way, you could do that in the pros as well. But that was just one last one that came to mind. I mean, that's the curveball. That's obviously not in college right now, but I just want to see LT back on the sidelines.
Me
Honestly,
too.
I do. I do. Selfishly, I do.
Yeah, I love her. I met her a couple years ago at a tournament in Florida.
Hmm.
She was down there, obviously,
Hmm.
scouting when she was in Dallas.
Yeah.
Just awesome
Yeah,
person.
no, she'll come and she's called a couple of OU games. I know she did last season, and I've gotten to I mean, that's I push the agenda. I look, I I'm here, like, and I'm not hiding from it. I'm not hiding from
Well,
it.
since you are an agenda pusher, we're gonna
Yeah.
continue right along with that
Oh,
vein,
oh, let's
and
do it.
we'll move to our next thing. And this is a game, and I called it "Who She Play For," and
Mhm.
that's obviously if you watch Inside the NBA, that's
Yeah,
something they do with Charles Barkley all the time, where they kind of make fun of him for not knowing a lot of where a lot of guys are,
yeah, yeah,
you know. Um, but yeah, who she play for? Let's see. I'll let Tiger pick a couple of this season's transfers.
yeah.
Talk about where they landed out of the portal, what their impact could be on their new team.
Goodness, I got a list for you, BMac. I do. But it starts that one that's not a surprise, BMac. Tania Latson.
Come on, come
Tania
on.
Latson. Here's I was an SEC preseason voter. I voted her my SEC preseason player of the year, and I voted her on my first team. SEC voters in total, when the final results came out, had her on second team. Then the AP All American voters came out, different voters, different people entirely. Have her as an All American. I do. I wasn't wrong. Okay, but like we'll see how the season plays out. But like I talked about Tania Latson last week, so I won't go too long. I have a whole list here, so I don't want to go too long on Tania. But ultimately, this is a player that fills exactly what Don Staley needs. You need a scorer, and you got one of the scorers in the entire NCAA that can absolutely give you a different type of scoring that South Carolina hasn't really had in a long time. Because even like, I mean, when you think about like perimeter scores, like you had Tina Pow was more of kind of a spot up shooter. You had Zaya Cook, but like not to the degree of score that Talia or that I'm already getting ahead of myself. That Tania Latson is for this and what she's been in the NCAA, what she was for Florida State, and what I don't see any reason why there should be much drop off at all. Because I talked about it before. I'll say it again. Dawn Staley evolves. Whenever she takes a big loss, she evolves. When they lost to Iowa, they gained 3-point shooting. What was their need this year? They needed scoring. You go and get Tania Latson. I don't see a world where it might not be the exact same volume of stats in that way, just because there's more talent around her. I think you'll see more playmaking from her, and I think from a WNBA perspective and like projecting that might be better for what Tania Latson kind of projects to be in the W and get a better idea for that. But ultimately, I just think she's going to be impactful. I think she's going to go get buckets, and I don't think that Dawn Staley is going to have like a short leash on that. Why would you go get Tania Latson if that's the case? It's just not. It just doesn't make sense. So I'm certainly more on the AP voter side than I am on the rest of my fellow SEC voters on that. So I'm very excited to see what she looks like in South Carolina. I'll lob one up to you. Okay, I already said Talia Scott, so let me get Talia Scott, and then I'm gonna lob one up to you, B Matt. Talia Scott, look, the injuries have been brutal. I mean, the injury luck has been brutal, but her going to Baylor, I'm still maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem, BMac. Maybe I need to stop pushing this agenda. But I've seen the bucket she was getting on bad SEC teams. Like there was no other support around her. And now you go to the Big 12, where you have talent around you at Baylor. It's not the Baylor of old, but this is still a very talented Baylor team, like genuine good players on this team, and you have the chance to go and be the number one option, the number one scorer on this team. I want to see it. I want to see Talia Scott healthy. To me, like the top four for the Big 12, like, and I think we touch on all of them, if not if over the course of my list here. But this is a team that can absolutely win the Big 12, but
Mm.
also like the top four is incredibly crowded. And so like it's gonna be what players step up. And Talia Scott is absolutely the one I'm looking at for Baylor to just get back to form, honestly. Like I mean, we know what she can do. She just hasn't been healthy enough long enough to do it and to like truly impact the season in that way. So I'm hoping we get that. But BMac, Cody McMahon, almost. I'm excited for this one. I think it's such a unique balance of like fitting Coach Yo and like what Coach Yo likes to do, while also being a genuine primary scorer that Ole Miss has desperately needed over the years. BMac, how are you feeling about Cody?
Oh, I almost fell out of my chair the day that it was announced she signed. I went,
Yeah,
"Oh my gosh."
yeah, I
Yes.
fully believe it.
was
I
not coming. I did not see it coming at all.
mhm, mhm.
I mean, and you put her in. I'll throw another transfer out there, Latasha Lattimore,
Yeah,
coming from Virginia.
yeah.
Those two in the post. Oh,
Mhm, mhm.
gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun in Oxford this season.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued by what it looks like. Again, I think it's because that's always been the problem is that I think Coach Hill has been successful in the portal, but I think at times it's been a bit like redundant in like what
Yes,
the things can be. And because you're trying to fit this mold of like what this team and like what this system wants to be in terms of the physicality, in terms of the defense and the effort, and you haven't always had the offensive bucket getting to match that. And I think Cody is one of the first players, if not the first, that truly can do both in that way in terms of matching the energy while also bringing the buckets. And that's something that I'm very intrigued by what that's going to look like, and also just her in the SEC as a whole. Like I just think she's built for the SEC. Like the athleticism, the physicality that she brings. Like I'm excited to see what that looks like.
hey, we both know it just means more.
It always means more now. Come on, that's ever since about last year. It's meant more to me too. You know. To keep it pushing through my list again, I kind of have a whole
Yeah.
list here. I think one of the most underrated players in the entire nation, and subsequently one of the most underrated transfers, Gianna Neekins,
Yes.
going to UCLA. I don't know if I could pick out a player to pick next to Lauren Betts in the entire nation, and you said, hey, free agency, go sign anyone. Gianna Neekins is one of the very first names that's coming to mind in terms of being long, in terms of as you just showed right there, BMac. I saw the shot for him. Okay,
Absolutely.
putting that ball in the rim, and being able to space the floor, but also play good defense. It just makes so much sense, frankly. Like it is on top of just fitting next to Lauren Betts, it fits this roster. And in terms of like you saw what happened in the Final Four, and you said we need to level up. We are not at the
Yeah.
tier we need to be at. We are good. We are not great. Gianna Eakins is a player that can go make you great. Like that. That is the caliber of player that she is. If she is in that same type of form that she was at Utah, it'll be a different role. But frankly, I think it'll be a role that's probably more what she's going to be in the W, which I think she could be elite at. Like it is. It's kind of a Sonia Citron type. Like that's kind of like where I'm headed with it in terms of like maybe a little bit more of a floor spacer. Obviously, Sonia showed a lot more to her game, but like in terms of a bit more of the 3-and-D aspect and really emphasizing those things like that is something that's a growing archetype just across the women's basketball sphere. I feel like is 3-and-D, and Neekins has a chance to be one of the best, if not the best, in the entire country at that.
1 percentage point shy of 50, 40, 90 last
Yeah,
year.
yeah,
Wow.
she's so good. She's so efficient. It's just perfect. It just makes sense. Like I mean, when she made that transfer, like it's like I had heard some of the other schools, like you had seen like some of the rumors. Like I know Oklahoma was one of them. Like in terms of like the potential schools, UCLA just made sense. Like I couldn't even be mad at it. I was like, this it just makes perfect sense. Like this works. So I'm very excited to see what she looks like, and again, just what she does with the floor and ceiling of UCLA. Because I mean,
Mm.
it's just obviously again, good team, really good team last year, but we saw what happened when they got to the Final Four. And I mean, UConn was a buzzsaw, but like
Yeah.
but you gotta go beat UConn like that you're gonna have to do that. So I'm very interested in what the floor and ceiling kind of looks like in comparison to last year for UCLA. Camille Pierre going to NC State, a shock transfer at an odd time, but she I just think she's gonna dominate the ACC. She was doing that in the SEC, and there's like just the each conference kind of has their own personality in terms of style of play. Some more varied than others. The ACC is about the guards, and Camille
Mhm.
Pierre is going to go in as a big that is going to dominate. Again, she was putting up stats in the SEC, where generally speaking, it's more physical, there's better bigs. She's going to the NC State where she's again obviously lost talent, right? Sanaya Rivers, Isaiah James, both leaving, and you go and fill that spot in. There's still good players left at NC State, but Camille Pierre is going to walk in there and presumably to me immediately be get the ball to Camille and then we'll figure it out from there. Like that. That is kind of the vibe that I would go for if I was NC State because it's Camille Pierre. I
Yes.
mean, and so I'm very very intrigued at just like what caliber of player she looks like at NC State because I we interviewed her at No Cap Space and like the idea of trying to implement more playmaking and like if you told me there was a Camille Pierre triple double this year I wouldn't be surprised. That's like kind of like it seems to be more about growing the game. It doesn't have to just be back to the basket every time, but it can be. And like I want to be mad at it, and so I'm very interested in how they kind of strike that balance of growing her game while also leaning into what makes her so incredibly good, which is the footwork down low, just the post presence as a whole. And I think she'll be able to dominate the ACC by doing that. And another post that I'm very excited for, Sarah Williams at UConn.
Yes.
I mean, talk about dominant in the post. I mean, that's what she is. I mean, that's who she is. And what that does to free up Sarah Strong is equally exciting as it is terrifying. Because Sarah Strong is already Sarah Strong, and now you've officially given Sarah Strong the freedom to go and be anywhere on the court. There was a little bit of with her kind of playing more of a true big last year, just with the nature of the roster and everything. It was a little bit more tied to the post at times, and obviously we still saw Sarah Strong go for three. I mean, we've seen it all already from Sarah Strong, and it doesn't look like it slowed down. And again, equally terrifying and exciting. But Sarah Williams coming in allows a bit more freedom, I feel like, and just a little bit off the Sarah Strong plate in terms of that, where we will presumably see more put on her plate with Paige Beckers leaving in terms of the scoring load and things of that nature. Which again, we've already seen her do it with those players, and like it's not slowing down. And so going and getting Sarah Williams is again that might be honestly I think her and Neekins in terms of like what they bring to a team in terms of fit. It might not be like the flashiest names, but goodness, to me like those two might be the transfers in terms of like just fitting in and making life easier for the star players that already exist at these programs while being a star in their own right. So
Yes.
I'm excited for that one, BMac. I really am. I really am. Um, goodness, I got three more here,
Okay.
and it's all from the Big 12, and we'll round out our top four. Haley Timmer going to OSU, Jada Williams going to Iowa State, and of course Olivia Miles going to TCU. Oklahoma State as a whole, I kind of talk about Oklahoma State a bit more generally here because I Oklahoma State is so intriguing to me because they're keeping a lot. You go and add Timmer, who, as you mentioned pre-show, we were talking about it, beats Oklahoma State and then joins Oklahoma State.
There you go.
Uh, I sure. I mean, why not? But Oklahoma State is intriguing to me. The entire top four of the Big 12 is intriguing to me. I don't know where this top four is going to land. I truly don't. And Oklahoma State is one of the. I think probably because it's odd because I think they have out of the top four rosters, they might have the most stable in terms of like last year to this year in terms of rosters,
Mhm.
but it's also you're asking for a degree of development. They were towards the top of the Big 12 last year, but they just weren't able to kind of get over that final hump. So now it's about taking that roster and growing. While some of these other places like a TCU or Iowa State to some degree, and TCU really to the main degree of in terms of transfers and turnovers in terms of roster, but you're trying to like figure out rosters, whereas Oklahoma State is trying to grow what they had. But I think Timmer comes in and is immediately able to add to that and help from the guard position and help just again just it just seems a little bit more. And I don't know if that's going to come from the transfers with Oklahoma State or just general growth from Oklahoma State in terms of the roster they have. But I'm very excited in just what they end up looking like. And like this whole Big 12 is going to be interesting. But to move on, Jada Williams, to me, obviously Iowa State was Jamie cover yours. Iowa State was disappointing last year. It was not like I mean, you have two dominant bigs in Addie Brown and Audie Crooks that are
Yeah.
phenomenal, and it just never got rolling. Like, and it was just weird in the way that it didn't, especially like from the momentum of their freshman years and with that duo and what it like you were looking at them to top the Big 12 and like
Mm.
you know but you didn't really know what you're getting from TCU last year. There was like the whole portal. That was really kind of the first year of the TCU experiment. Now we have a bit better idea of like what that's going to look like, and we can project a little bit more, even though there is roster turnover.
Mhm.
I, we didn't know what happened last year, and so Jada Williams comes in. Obviously, you lose Emily Ryan, but Jada Williams comes in, and it's a completely different type of guard.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm just intrigued, like by what this looks like because it's just again just a different type of guard. And she hasn't been the most efficient shooter, but she's also been asked to shoot a lot. And that might not be the case here as much when you have that level of duo. And so I'm very interested in just like what role Jada Williams takes for Iowa State and how can that, raise the floor and kind of keep it more out of balance for Iowa State this year in terms of the results? Can it raise the ceiling? And we see them become like a legit, you know, deep NCAA tournament threat because you have the talent down low to do that. And so I'm incredibly intrigued by what that looks like. Because I I just have questions, and it's not inherently a bad thing to have those questions. But I from what we saw last year, I don't know what to trust about Iowa State,
Mhm.
and Jada Williams coming in is the kind of the key change to that, and so that's what I'll be interested in seeing from her is just what questions is she answering that I have, and how does Iowa State again, just kind of keep it more consistent and raise the floor because the floor was so low last year. But then you saw the ceilings and you're like, okay, I understand why I thought they were going to be the team I thought they would be. So it was just a confusing season from Iowa State. Okay, Jamie, you can put the volume back up now. Last but not least, for me, one of the most shocking transfers I've ever seen is Olivia Miles not going to the WNBA draft and choosing to go to TCU. This is one that it's a system that is incredibly guard friendly. You have and Olivia Miles certainly wasn't the only transfer that TCU got by any means. They have so much size on this roster, and the amount of bigs that Olivia Miles is going to have a chance to run pick and rolls with on just spamming it over and over and over, it's going to be insane.
Yeah.
And you're also probably going to see, presumably, Olivia Miles that is a bit more of a primary scorer in that way. Like she's been that at Notre Dame. Don't get me wrong, but it's just a different type of system. It's a different type of talent because like even though she was always number one option at Notre Dame, there was still other talent around her that could have that level of like kind of pop off game. I
Mhm.
don't know 100% where that is at TCU because there is so much roster turnover. So it feels a lot like last year in terms of the roster turnover and not knowing who was going to be what and what position and what role and things of that nature until we see it. So there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. But ultimately, you know who Olivia Miles is, and that is a heck of a point guard. And in terms of it's interesting because I think more naturally than like a HVL that came into TCU, Olivia Miles has been a point guard. She's done this, and so we saw Haley Van Lith be able to revive her career in a whole lot of ways at TCU while being a point guard. And so in my head, the kind of PEMDAS here is like, okay, HBO, not a point guard, does really well. Olivia Miles, a very good point guard already, same system. Presumably, good things happen, And if nothing else, we're gonna get some highlight plays because it's Olivia Miles. So I'll be tapped into TCU for that reason alone. But that entire top four, like going back to Celia Scott, you have Timber coming in, Jada Williams, Olivia Miles. There's been key transfers for all the top four, who I expect to be the top four of the Big 12. And you could tell me any order of that top four is our end results for the standings, and I
Mhm.
believe you. Like I at this point right now, like I think that the margins are so slim, and if you told me that any one of those four players ended up being the reason why X school got into the top of the Big 12 or won the Big 12 tournament or whatever it ends up being, if you told me any of those four players were the reason why, I'd fully believe. But that's my long-winded transfer list. That is my who she played for. Because goodness, there was a whole lot of movement. Goodness, BMac. I was racking my brain and trying to remember where people went and who left and who's. We might just need to start doing it where like opening day players just run out. Like
Yeah.
like like just run out and we'll figure it out opening day. Like just goodness gracious, man. Because there's still plenty of transfers I left off this list too, and there's just so much movement. It's insane.
I'll give you another one that intrigues me. Tony Morgan, that left Georgia Tech, part of the
Mhm,
mass exodus
mhm, mhm.
after Nell Fortner retires. At Kentucky now.
Yeah,
Kenny Brooks needs a point guard.
sure
Georgia
does.
Amore is in the WNBA. Uh,
Mhm.
she's a perfect fit. I mean,
Yeah.
she's I think it was close to 6 assists a game last year
Yeah.
for the Yellow Jackets, third in the ACC. Slide her right in. I mean, probably a different kind of point guard than Georgia Amore, but you know, you need that spot filled, and she can definitely fill it.
Yeah. I think the only one off the top of my head that I left off my list initially, Alucci Okonowa going from Duke to Maryland
Oh,
is another
yeah.
one I'm very, very excited about and, like, just what that looks like. I mean, Maryland produces pros. Not a transfer I expected, in that sense, but she had a lot of good moments for Duke last year, and so I'm also excited by that one. Yeah, I mean, goodness, there's so much movement. There's there's certainly players I forgot, and there'll be players that I don't remember until like they literally play their first minutes, and I'm like, what are you doing here? Like it is gonna be it's gonna be insane. But yeah, I think the portal was portaling, and if you told me that, like, I think the national champion is gonna have an impact transfer. Like that's just the reality of like the
Mm.
NCAA and what we live in right now. And you look at you have on this list just alone South Carolina, UCLA, UConn. You have teams that can go and make those kind of surprise deep runs to that are maybe like more like the top 8 to 16 in the polls, but then you end up seeing them in the final four. And like you have teams like that on this list too. So someone is going to be an impact transfer that wins a national championship this year. I just can't wait to find out who it is. I mean, that's what we're here for. That's what we're buying our time for till opening day. BMac.
Yes, and speaking of the national championship, we will be in Phoenix for the Final Four.
Mhm.
And since we had this game coming up on Saturday, I'd like to propose a little
Oh
wager
God.
for you.
Oh goodness. Sure.
Loser of this big matchup between the Sooners and the Rebels at noon Eastern
Mhm.
on Saturday in Norman, Oklahoma.
Mhm.
Loser buys dinner in Phoenix.
I'm
You
down.
down?
I'm down. I'm down. I'll be there. I'll be there in person, BMac. So I if you ain't yelling, you can't complain. That's what I've always told myself as a fan. So I'll be there yelling. And then if I lose, I'll be complaining in Phoenix instead.
Hey, I'm right there with you on the same boat, eh?
Absolutely. No,
Uh,
that's a deal, BMac. That's a deal.
all right. Hey, it's recorded and it's on here now, so everybody in the world knows it.
Heck yeah. No, BMac. I'm so happy I got to come on. We gotta get you out here more often, BMac. Come on, man. This was a blast.
Hey, Aaron mentioned the same thing in a message this morning.
I loved it. I had a
So
blast, BMac. Until Saturday though. Saturday we're enemies, but
yeah,
before and after, it was a blast, BMac.
well, as always, I'm not a parting type of guy, so I don't really know how to end this other than just to say thank you all for listening and hotty toddy.